Applause, please.
Thank you, Guy.
Thank you.
Wow, what a presentation. Thank you very much. It went fast, it's true. Before we start to talk about Ujet, I would like to introduce myself very, very shortly. So basically, I'm a marketer. I'm an entrepreneur. I have been also a high competition athlete. But most of all, I'm a trend watcher. When we are an entrepreneur, we try to see where the opportunities are and how to grab the opportunities that we can see in the world. And actually, this is definitely a great opportunity. Why it is a great opportunity? Because we have to think about how the world is moving today. And I would like to introduce you to a couple of concepts. I'm not going to go into detail in material science, nanotechnology, or clean technology, but more giving you a couple of principles about what we can observe from the world and how all the science that we have today, all the technology that we have available today can enable us to grasp great, great business opportunity. And to start, we are not at a paradigm shift today. Some people are still talking about shift. I'm talking about paradigm jump. We have a lot of things accelerating and we have a lot of things today on shelf. Globalization is playing a key role in moving the world forward and creating forces at play that is influencing a lot of the things that we do today. Of course, the science has made great progress and tremendous progress, and the convergence of all the science together is also creating new venues, new adventures that are also possible today. Societal change. Yep, there are a certain number of changes, but overall the world, although there are some big disparities, is becoming richer. The access to a certain number of products is also becoming more impressive. And that's also a world of opportunity. If we think about, I would say, the technological advancement, if we think about especially the digital world, this is also very impressive on how it has changed our life today. And if we observe the children today, and if we observe a certain number of things that we do today with digital that we would not imagine have done, I would say, even 5 years ago. And last but not least, of course, you have new consumers' habits. And we have to understand this paradigm jump in the sense that today we have a lot of new consumers. It's very important and difficult to try to understand the needs because there are multiple needs and the consumers are each of them unique, with a lot of needs. And that's very, very important for us to understand that. So it's a time not for really innovation, but it's definitely a time for reinvention. Why? Because we are living in a way, in a time where we have a deconstruction, or even sometimes destruction, of some businesses that are not moving fast enough. We have to leave aside our old habits. If we think about children today playing with an iPad, at 1.5 years old, it was not possible when we think about ourselves at 2 years old what we were doing. It's intuitive. They just don't know. They haven't learned. They just go with it. They just take a picture. They just play with it. They just access any movie they want to see at the moment. So all these things is quite impressive. The same, if you think about driving, we all like to be behind our steering wheel. What about tomorrow with self-driving car, still having a seat like that, but why? So even the way we're going to build car will be totally different because if I'm not only driving, but then when the car is driving, I need to have my seats like a maybe armchair where I can turn and discuss and read a book and whatsoever. So it's also a kind of reinvention that we couldn't imagine years ago, which is almost available today. So it's a time for what we call reimagining life. So it's not just about creating one leap of innovation or one just additional features. It's not enough. What we need is to reinvent product, reinvent how the life tomorrow will be. And what does it mean? That means that we are looking after the concept of augmented experiences. Consumers want everything which is offering a plus, a plus, a plus, and a plus. What does it mean? Today a phone can do many things. Email, videos, I would say, of course, pictures, at the same time then answering the phone and things like that. And when I was talking to my son the other day and saying to him, you know, you're lucky because every time you come somewhere you ask for Wi-Fi. You say, when I had your age at 12 years old, I was not asking for Wi-Fi. I didn't have a phone. You know, I had to go to the place in the house where I had a cable. And he looked at me as if I was very like a dinosaur. He said to me, but what? You couldn't go and call everywhere? Seriously? He couldn't imagine that because that was the life he was born in. And this is the life we are in, but it's augmented experiences. Any project or any, I would say, offering needs to be multifunctional, needs to offer a lot of possibilities. We have to rethink the things that we have had in mind. We have to bring new things to life with a lot of data. What are we going to do with all the data we are collecting today? Which kind of things will this bring to us? And that's fascinating to see that any individual, you, could have access to what you want at the moment you want it. Impressive. We are not anymore a group. Each of us will be individual. It's also what I call the time of ego empowerment. But that's very, very important to consider. And of course, these augmented experiences is bringing us to a new world. If you think about the digital disturbance, it's nothing. If you think about what material science disturbance could bring, also combined with digital and combined with the understanding about reinventing a new life, wow. Wow. That's really great what we have to do and what we can do with all the science available. What Gregory talked about today was the Ujet project. So what you have seen in the lobby or in the behind the doors here, it's not a scooter actually. It's an augmented electric experience. Exactly what I was talking to you about. And why do we do that? I would say Oxial has been riding the trends by actually creating also Ujet. And the idea of having a company of new era developing products to deliver to the consumers an augmented experience. And the whole idea was to reinvent urban mobility, not just to bring an additional two-wheeler with a features that is a little bit better or an engine that is just electric. No, it's definitely a reinvention, and we are reinventing with Ujet what the electric experience is about. How do we do that? Because this company has been built in combining a certain number of elements. One of the first elements is material science. And especially, I would say, using carbon composite, using, of course, magnesium, but going further, we are thinking about developing a lot of, I would say, product behind the product you have seen here that will use a lot our carbon nanotube that we have right now in the product you have seen in the lobby in the tire, but we are looking at optimizing our battery, looking at optimizing our paintings, looking at optimizing our frame in order to really have a product that offers incredible performance. But the key answer would be why, and I will answer later. Of course, material science alone is not enough. So therefore, we have also added clean technology because we have to think about how do we, I would say, address not only the mobility challenges that we have in the cities, but also how do we address the environmental challenges that we have in the world. Because any product that will come to market needs to answer two questions. How does it fit the life of Mr. Smith or Mrs. Smith, and what does it bring to the world? We cannot create things without thinking about the world today. And that's also why we have clean technology. Digital is obvious. We need to make sure that the product and any solution we provide to consumers are bringing also some element of digitalization. And last but not least, what is our objective? Our objective is to accelerate the adoption of electric mobility in cities to improve our quality of life in cities, to improve air pollution, to improve CO2 emission. But by doing so, having a product with features is not enough. What we need is to grab the attention, grab desire. And this is why we have been, I would say, setting a company that uses design as also a kind of attraction power to make sure that we are accelerating the takeout of the product. So as I said before, this product is just the very first of a certain number of products that will use each of them, material science at the core, clean technology, digital, and also design. A concrete example, we could think about a helmet which becomes much lighter, much sleeker, much nicer, and at the same time safer. Safer and also connected. If I put my hands on the floor, there is maybe my phone that receives a message to send immediately to the urgencies, and then they already have all the data on me, my blood type and everything. We could save life also about thinking about this kind of thing. So This is just to say to you that there is many, many possibilities in having set the companies like that we are thinking about, and using, of course, a lot of our, I would say, science that is coming from Optial on any kind of material. Also thinking about clothing, also thinking about a certain number of products that will come forward. When we think about that, again, bringing that back to the consumer, what does it mean, material science in this case? Using carbon nanotube, it means we make it easier. Because the consumer doesn't buy something to save the planet. The first driver is how does it help me? So here we make it easier by making it lighter and also safer and stronger. What does it mean? Increase access of women to the two-wheeler category. Why? Because we did researches and women were saying, a scooter, I would love to have a scooter in the city, but you know what? It's polluting, it's smelly, it's also creating noise, and it's too heavy. And here, you know what? It's not noisy, it doesn't smell, it's not heavy, and therefore they have the sense of control. So we are increasing the cake, actually, and bringing more people to adopt, I would say, this product. Another element is, of course, clean technology, environmentally friendly, advanced connectivity, because this is what people want today, and of course, what not least, ensuring that we are capturing their heart with something which is stylish. So how can we, as industries players, size the opportunity and capture this great opportunity? I think the point number one is really to make sure that we are embracing disruption. Very often what is blocking people is, what about this is new, but there are some risks associated to that. And no, I think we have to embrace disruption. We have the chance to reimagine life, to reinvent the solution of the future. Material science technologies is available. Digital technologies are available. A lot of other technologies are available. We have to embrace disruption, and we have to really have the courage of what we call positive change. And we can do that today. The second element to size this opportunity is also the idea of, I would say, gather insight. Not only thinking about what people want, but how can we reimagine the life of tomorrow? And if I think about my daughter or my son today, what would it be in 10 or 15 years from now? And let's imagine it. And let's already create now the solution for the future. And last but not least, partnering. It's very difficult for any company to know it all. We are not living in a world where any single company alone can succeed. What is needed is the collaboration, the cooperation, the partnership between different industries. And I was in the Economist Forum yesterday, and I was discussing about someone saying, I have a dream. I would love to have something to protect myself when I'm going to ride my Ujet, because I'm a Ujetter. And then I said, but I don't want to have this biker thing. It's not elegant. It's too heavy. But I want to be protected. He said, yeah. But you know what? If you want a garment that can be intelligent and at the same time protecting you, but very sleek and light and whatever, we can do that. Actually, I have a technology in shoes that can be relevant for your garment. Great. And you know what? He didn't know about my dream, and I didn't know about this technology. So again, that shows us that partnering, being here all together, thinking about all the possibilities that the future offers us, all the technologies and the knowledge that we have in this room is quite impressive. So I would say together, let's embrace the future. Thank you very much.